Guess what, guys? She lives. Check it out. I'm sure you can tell she looks a lot different than last time you guys saw her. This is part 19 of your Firebird update. So let's go through some stuff. I got tons of stuff to talk about. So, where I left off in the last video, it's kind of hard to see, but I finished off the fuel lines to the sniper. Had some issues getting it running, but I'll go through that here shortly. That's not the distributor that I wanted to run, or had installed, actually. Let's see, leftover stuff from last video. Alternator, got that installed. Serpentine setup, working great. Ignore this dingus right here and that upper radiator hose. That's doing what I can. You can see there's a bunch of wiring. Had my son come and help me wire the car. He and I spent a weekend and basically wired the whole thing from scratch. I did make a battery tray out of some scrap angle iron and some old bed frame, so the battery is solid. Got a little cutoff switch here, which is convenient. The grounds are all ran. The car runs. I'll let you guys hear it here very soon. I know some of this looks messy. It will get cleaned up. Some of it was temporary. Like I said, I'll get back to that. Cold case radiator, aluminum. It's a 2-row, but it's got wider slots in it, so it's supposed to cool as good as a 4-row or whatever. Anyway, dual 12-inch electric fans. The sniper can control both of them independently, and like I said on that switch on the dash, I was going to do an override, and my son, being the genius that he is, helped me figure out how to wire that third relay with some diodes to where it works flawlessly. My catch can overflow is temporary. That's going to end up being mounted on the inner fender well, but I'm not quite there yet to install that permanently. Used the Evo Energy kit like I did for the sniper. Fuel lines, did that same thing for the lines going to the transmission, the transcooler lines. And I'll roll pictures in as we go. There's a bunch of stuff. The spacer, I removed the spacer because I'm not going to have hood clearance, and I may have issues with hood clearance even without the spacer, trying to use that Edelbrock air filter deal. Because I was having some issues, I did go ahead and install this temporarily just to verify my fuel pressures. But let's check out some other stuff and we'll get back to the engine. Underneath, I have mocked up the exhaust and the Flowmasters, just because when I'm sitting here playing, it's better to have that muffled instead of just straight piping. Inside, let me turn the power on. Inside, lots have changed. I rebuilt this light my dad had in here, so it works. So as you can tell now, the dash is in. Not only is the dash in, but all the trim pieces are in. All the trim pieces in the back. The back seats are actually in, as well as seat belts. Package tray, painted that, 6x9s installed. front seat belts, all that good stuff. And carpet, new carpet, console, dash. I still need to install this piece of plastic, this metal piece, and the reason I haven't done that is because I haven't installed the piece that goes down there, like that kick panel side over there. Cleaned the glass just so I could see. Seam sealed the floor, you know, from all the welding we did on the pasture side over there. Seam sealed all of that. Put down new carpet. You can tell I've got the retainers in, the seal plates are in. I'm gonna clean those up a little bit more, but they're in. Console is in. Rebuilt the spring mechanism and all that stuff, the button to where it actually closes and stays closed, relatches now. Wiring is still kind of a mess. I've been chasing some issues, so I did have it cleaned up, and I had to undo that. I had to undo the wiring some just to chase the issues when I went to first start this thing. Did do this switch like I was talking about, fan override. This switch over here works, and I've got it set up to give me 12 volts on a wire over here. It's not going to anything yet until I figure out what I want to do with it. New steering wheel, all that stuff. I've got a new steering wheel that'll go on last after I get the front seats in. One thing I will tell you guys though, the vinyl and the plastics and all that stuff, I mean, if you look, for being a car built in 1978, those look mint. And I'll tell you why. I found some stuff, I did some research, some investigation, and as far as interior cleaner, Griot's, I don't know if I'm saying that right, that's good stuff. And then I was able to, after it was cleaned up, use that Mother's Back to Black. That is the ticket there. As you saw on the, basically all the pieces on the inside, they look dang good. A little bit of dust on the dash now, but like those back trim pieces, I mean, dang. The console, all that stuff looks great for being old. I mean, I would almost think it was new watching a video if I didn't know all that. So check this out. You know, I showed you guys the gauges last time, and obviously they were out of the car, but turn that light off. They light up. Where is this guy? Okay. They light up, and you can see the bird, which is awesome. Spectacular. Had to clearance that lighter hole a little bit to fit these switches. Little bracket behind here. Radio is installed and working. Up there with the fuel pump. Radio's installed. It works. I'm not going to turn it on right now. The shifter's installed with the button that I have to program into the transmission controller here after I figure out where I'm going to mount it. We've got the Sniper handheld. Like I said, lights work. So one thing about doing these custom gauges is my blinkers were not going to work. Now I know one of them's lit up, but I think I know why that is. I don't think that's a wiring issue. I think that's a lack of having lights on the exterior. But I had a buddy on Discord actually 3D print me a piece, and I'll show some stuff on the screen, a few pictures. I was able to get something that I could mount two LEDs from DigiKey, and they're red and green, and I figured I would use the red against that green lens. It's a really dark amber. I'm going to end up using that for my high beam indicators, which I don't have the switch hooked up yet to test those. But the blinkers work awesome. Blinkers and hazards. There you go. So it does work. Let's see what else. Let me check my list. I think I got some more stuff. I was having an issue with that gauge. I got to figure that out. It's not a wiring thing. I think something may be wrong with the gauge itself. But yeah, it's looking good in here. Let me check my list. I'll be right back. All right, we got through a lot of it. So I was saying I had that's not the distributor that I want in there. I had a magnetic pickup distributor, a Summit billet distributor that I had installed at first. After the first start, I was having issues with timing going all over the place and all that. I needed to shorten the equation that I was working with so I could wrap my head around what was going on. Oh yeah, new wiper blades too, and wiper motor. So I was trying to avoid spending extra money for a HEI distributor, just to simplify the setup and not have the whole timing control in the equation of the sniper. So I ended up swapping to that. Got it running. It's holding timing where I want. I don't have the vacuum advance hooked up or anything yet, and I'm probably not going to. I'm probably going to switch back to the timing control setup after I get a few more heat cycles in it and I'm confident in the way that it's running. But you know, I did buy a different cap and had to drill a hole in it to phase the rotor. I had an adjustable rotor cap. It's a lot of setup, but Holly has a pretty good video on getting the timing control going. You know, 45-degree reference angle, installing it at 30 degrees before top dead center, and you know, yeah, it's like I said, I needed to shorten the equation to wrap my head around the issues that I was having. Found a bent pin that was causing the idle air control valve here not to work. I was able to straighten that out and fix it, so everything's good there. Holly doesn't recommend it, but the transmission controller, which the cable is hooked up as well, the shifter's fully done. It shifts gears, shifts through everything. My indicator on the dash doesn't quite work because I think I kinked the cable, and honestly don't really care at the moment to fix it. That's something I'll do later. But the transmission controller company sells this kit that goes in line with the Sniper TPS, and it says, you know, make sure you ground and power from the same spot and all that stuff, and it seems to be working fine. So hopefully that doesn't cause any issues. I don't have any weird stuff in data logs or anything like that, so I think we're all good there. Let's see what else. Power steering pump. Holy crap, that power steering pump, that is the 5th one that I've been through, because all of them ended up leaking around the seal, around the pump to the housing. And I got 2 or 3 different ones from Summit, the rebuilt trying to save some money. The rebuilt Cardone ones, and both of those leaked. Finally returned those. I rebuilt one, but I cut the seal. I know I messed that one up. Then went to the parts store here locally, O'Reilly's, and found one that was, it was all jacked up. It wasn't even seated in there right, and that's the only one they had, so I had to get them to order another one. And so finally I've got one installed, and it's filled up and it doesn't leak. But that was a debacle that took days, that aggravated the crap out of me. Let's see what else. Heater box, I've got that installed. I'm not installing the stuff on the firewall yet. That's also why I don't have inner fender wells or fenders or any of that. You'll see why on the next video, I'm sure. Core support here, as you saw earlier, I've cleaned it up. It's been painted. I still don't have the AC, what you call it, up here. It's sitting over there and up against a box. Needs to be cleaned up some. I saved the sticker when I painted it just because, you know, it's the original sticker. Not that any of this stuff is relevant to what I've got in here, but you know, whatever. Showed you about the cold case radiator. I found these aluminum pieces, some scrap a buddy gave me, a trash can full of aluminum. And I was like, man, these look pretty good. I don't really have to clean them up. I don't have to weld on them because I'm not hadn't really messed with aluminum too much yet. But I was able to take some radiator support isolators and use these original fan shroud bolt holes and actually get the radiator in there pretty good. On the bottom I took some it was 2-inch square tube, and it's kind of hard to see here. I'll post some pictures, but I took some 2-inch square tube and cut it down to basically C-channel, and I used a bolt and a ball joint boot left over from my polyurethane kit to act as a cushion, rubber cushion on the bottom. So radiator's in there solid. I'm happy with the install. I mean, if I hold the core support, I mean, the radiator's firmly attached. And I think that about wraps it up for the updates here on part 19. So I know the moment you've all been waiting for. Let me show you the first start. So that about wraps up part 19 of your Firebird update. In part 20, do you get to see her move? We'll see. Stay tuned. We'll catch you next time on Chaos Garage.